Hi everyone, happy Thursday. It's me, Corinne. Right, hold on. Am I live on Instagram? Okay, I'm live on everywhere. So we have a topic at today, and it's all about last minute tax filing tips. Basically, especially for my business partners, if you are filing a return between now and the 15th, this is your last minute tax filing tips. And then also if you're getting your taxes done for personal reasons and you are also a single member LLC filing Schedule C, your taxes and corporation returns are going to be due April 15th. It's still kind of cutting it close now because we're 2 months into the tax season, filing season. So just want to hop in here. So, like I said, welcome back to our weekly live stream. We're going to get down to the wire. Tax season is almost at the finish line, like I was saying. If you haven't filed yet, don't worry. You're not alone. So today I'm sharing the last minute tax filing tips to help avoid mistakes and maximize deductions and file with confidence. I recently had like a conversation with one of my clients, Sarah, a mompreneur, juggling her growing boutique and 3 kids at home. With all the orders, school pickups, and late night inventory restocks, tax filing kept getting pushed to the bottom of her list. And suddenly she realized, oh no, the deadline is factually approaching. So if this sounds familiar to you, if so, this session is for you. So I have a few tips that I want to go, 4 tips actually in total. Tip 1, gather documents even if it feels messy. Just gather all the documents you can. Don't worry about it. If you're dealing with a pro, they are going to be able to get right in there and help you with sorting documents that are needed, organizing it. So, for instance, Sarah was scrambling to find receipts, invoices, and 1099s. My advice, start with what you have. Your bank statements, your bookkeeping software, or even email receipts can help piece things together quickly. The bank statements I like to use as pretty much the encyclopedia or the table of contents of what receipts we are going to be needing. And what we normally try to do is use your bookkeeping software and merge those things together where we can help with organizing your receipts. So for instance, when we do the bank statements and we put them to with the bookkeeping software, we're able to attach your receipts to those transactions. So once we see what transactions do not have receipts, then we can start going from there to start looking for receipts. A good thing about the technology that we have in America, in the United States, is that a lot of these companies you work with, as long as you give them the last 4 digits of like your debit card information, they're able to recreate any receipts you need. So it's not that big of a problem, guys. The next thing is tip 2. You want to check for deductions you might be missing. Sarah was surprised when I told her she could deduct her home office, which includes internet expenses and even part of her childcare costs as a business owner. So do not leave money on the table, guys. Tip number 3 would be avoid common mistakes that can delay your refund. So forgetting to sign your return, misreporting income. So basically, if you're missing income that maybe you receive a 1099 and you didn't enter that 1099 in, and it actually, once you add it all up, your income for your business, it's still short by like maybe $5,000 or $3,000. That can delay things. W-2s, if you're missing a W-2, that definitely can delay something, or even down to your investment documents. So you don't want to miss those income statements. Or even missing deductions can slow things down. So I walked Sarah through double checking her return before hitting submit. Something I always recommend. So even with our clients, we do like a double review where it gets prepared, the data entry goes in, then somebody else will review the return, and then after that, the client goes and reviews the return one more time. So you want to double check, and in our firm, it is being double checked, the returns, before hitting that submit button, because once you hit the submit button, it's a lot more messier when you have to do an amendment return. Amendment returns are more prone to actually flag an audit. So we try to refuse. We want to, like, it's like surgery. You want to go and cut once and not have to cut twice. You want to get to where you're getting right away, right? So that's something I always recommend, is to always double check your tax returns, review your documents one more time. If it's a few documents, that's even better, but you want to get in the habit of checking over these things. And a lot of my clients are so used to maybe one, if they're filing jointly, they're used to one person just reviewing the return, and one spouse, and they're not, the other spouse is not aware. Or some of my clients are not even aware, if they're filing a return their own, they're not even aware of what was filed. So you want to know what's being filed, because at the end of the day, once you sign that return, it's going to be some issues. Like the IRS is like, well, you signed it. It's basically like a sealed contract. So you want to make sure everything in there is correct and you understand, because you're going to be the one liable for anything that's misrepresented in that tax return. And the firm if a firm or a tax pro is working on a return, yes, they could be, but you're more held at a higher standard for making sure the information was correct. Yes, you paid somebody to enter it for you, but the IRS is going to come for you, not to the person that prepared the return. They're looking at you. But you also want to partner with someone that's going to stand by your side if this was to ever happen. That's why in our firm, we offer audit protection. All our tax preparers, not tax preparers, but all our tax returns are always audit protected. So if there was a time you got any letters or whatever, we have the program and the partners in place that's going to be able to help with that return if it was ever pulled for audit. Tip number 4, if you can't file on time, file an extension. So Sarah thought missing the deadline meant instant penalties. Nope. Filing an extension gives you an extra time to submit your return. But remember, it doesn't delay your tax payment if you owe. So even if you still owe, you are supposed to make that payment by April 15th or set up a payment plan by April 15th. That does not stop the payment. Okay. The only reason why I would also suggest that my clients go and do an extension, because we can do an estimate of what is going to be owed, but we're 9 out of 10, if you're missing receipts and stuff like that, it might be lower by the time we finish filing the return. So you need to file. You need to pay your return. Okay. But anyway, at this point, if you have any questions, feel free to drop it in the comments, or even send me a DM if you don't feel comfortable asking the question right now on live. But the few questions I do have, let me hop in here and see what questions we got before this live. How do I get back to my connect all? Okay. So let's go. Let's see what questions we had. Okay, hold on. Okay, so banners, let's go to our questions. We have the topic. And then before I go actually questions, let's do the tips one more time. So we have tip 1, gather your documents, even if it feels messy. I know it's going to be a lot. Tip 2, check for deductions you might be missing. Tip 3, avoid common mistakes that can delay your refund or return. And then tip number 4, if you can't file on time, file an extension. If it's looking like, for instance, all my partnership returns and S corps, if it's February 20th, Rihanna's birthday, also Pisces season has started, but besides that, it's February 20th. You now have less than a month to file your partnership and S corp returns. If you're finding that it's an issue to get this return done by now, this is the time you want to put an extension in. Okay. So questions. What happens if I file late and owe taxes? If you owe taxes and miss the deadline, the IRS charges a failure to file penalty, which is usually 5% of the unpaid taxes per month. Yes, that's a lot. 5% per month. I don't even think I can get interest rates for a bank that much, right? But the sooner you owe in penalties. So if you can't pay in full, like I said, setting up a payment plan is also a good option, because you're not trying to let the IRS know, like, okay, well, I'm avoiding to pay this. Like, if it didn't happen, I'm not concerned about it. But this is going to show that you know you owe and you're interested in setting up a payment plan. Okay. But always painful to avoid those penalties, because even a payment plan does not stop you from getting interest on what you owe, but it does stop the penalties though. Okay. Next question. Can I still claim deductions if I don't have all my receipts? Ooh. Short answer, yes. If you made business related purchases and can track them through bank statement, invoices, or even email confirmations, you can still claim the deductions. However, it's always best to keep detailed records moving forward, because of the fact that you also have the IRS you're filing for, and then you also have state that you're going to be filing returns. Some states are, I need the receipts, we need it this way. Some states aren't, but I always say have the receipts. When we plan and file a return, we are making sure these returns are order proof. So having those receipts will make it easier and a lot better. So if there was anything to ever happen, we can just like, bang, here goes the receipts. Holler at me later or whatever. But you want to have those receipts and you want to start collecting them. We are in second month. I feel like the homework for everyone right now that's owning a business would be the first month of the year, which is January, that you have all those receipts gathered and have them in order in some type of way. Maybe by month, or maybe you have it digitized by vendor, or maybe you even have digitized by like what type of expense it is. But start working on that now. Like by the time you get to December and you're doing this as you go throughout the year, it's not going to be that much of a headache. So homework, get all your January receipts together to starting today. Okay, get it together and work on categorizing and get them to in some type of system. If you have an accountant, get a Google Drive folder, ask them if they have any portals, get on their portal. If they do, start making these folders right now. Like it's not going to hurt anybody to be prepared, right? The next question I have up here would be, I think I made a mistake on my return. What should I do? Hmm. Hold on, I'm trying to get back to the window. Sorry. So I think I made a mistake on my return. What should I? Oh yeah, yeah. Okay. Well, it's not all ends well, right? If you have already submitted a return and realize that there's an error, don't panic though, because you can file an amended return using Form 1040X. And if the IRS catches a mistake before you do, they usually send a notice with instructions on how to fix it, or they sometimes will go and fix it automatically as well. But you still want to go, if they do make the corrections for you still want to go make sure that the corrections are accurate, because it could be, for instance, you forgot income, but also that you forgot the income, you also forgot expenses that go along with that income. So you want to just calculate and make sure your calculations matches what the IRS has. And if they made the corrections, okay, you're good. You might not need to file an amended return because they already made the corrections, and they'll let you know in the letter, file this amended return, or make sure you contact units. Because also, if the IRS makes any corrections on your return, you also need to make sure the state is aware of the corrections. And if they are not aware of it, you would have to submit a return to the state, an amended return to New York State or whatever state you're in. But that's basically it. Okay. So, thank you all for the questions. I don't see any questions in the comments. Right now, we're only live on YouTube, Facebook, sorry, and LinkedIn, sorry. This was supposed to be done last week, but life is happening. I wasn't able to join. It was a lot of work coming through our pipeline. So I'm so sorry about not going live last week. So Facebook and LinkedIn, you're just gonna have to catch it on the replay, okay? So thank you all for coming today. Like, I'm happy to be up here, um, and everything. But let's just go to closing. Oh, before we go to closing, I am in this contest right now, putting myself out there. I don't think I've been in any type of anything like this in a long time. I don't really run for things. I just don't. I don't. I'm putting myself out there. Like I stated before, I'm doing the Entrepreneur Impact um, contest, and right now I have made it to 1, 2, or 3 rounds. I think I'm in my 3rd round, which I need to be on the top 5, and it ends tonight, 7 p.m. PST time. So basically, need everyone to go out there and vote for me, share with everyone. I'm going against some good people, but I do want to win because of the fact that actually I do want to win, and I'm just happy where I'm at the moment. But I definitely want to win because I want to be able to provide services to small businesses, mompreneurs, social workers, and whoever that cannot afford to have these services that we offer, which is basically accounting system setup, maintenance of their accounting system, and helping them being an advisor and a sound board to their business. Because at the end of the day, me coming from corporate America, me coming from working in the school districts, I've noticed how much of the accounting department meant to any type of organization. And when you lack that in your company, that financial backbone, that one source of things, it makes the business, it doesn't make the business have a stronger foundation. So we want to make sure everyone is playing on the same playing field. Like at the end of the day, we're in the internet and everybody's basically out for grabs. We're all basically working on the same level as all these top accounting top firms or whoever's in your industry. You're basically in the same pool. Like you guys have the same pool of whatever. So in order for you to be able to beat your competitors or whatever, you're going to have the same tools and resources they do have. And a lot of, like I said, corporate America, a lot of corporations, a lot of organizations, whatever you are doing, whoever you are going against, they do usually make sure that they have a good accounting department and whoever their advisor is. So I want to make sure that I can provide that to almost every small business possible. And a lot of people come in and they get a consultation, but I'm not gonna lie, our services are not cheap. It's not very expensive, but it's not for someone that's just coming out starting a business can basically afford. But at the end of the day, it's a necessity. It's something that is definitely needed. It's going to help out a lot, and if I'm able to win this competition, this contest, I will be able to create this fund where I can, if somebody comes in, we can just draw it from this fund and allow that person to come and get their services done here with us. And our goal is for them to grow. Like if they grow with us providing the accounting system and account maintenance and giving them the reports that they need and helping them be able to get financing and whatever they are needed because of the system that they're using, we want them to grow, and eventually they won't need to be in our fund and they can afford our services or go elsewhere or hire an accountant or a bookkeeping department or whatever they want in their business. But the whole thing is to graduate from this. And if I win the 25,000, I'm putting in that fund, and it's only going to be for small businesses that need accounting services, tax services, or whatever like that. So vote for me. It's going on today. I think there's another round. I'm just holding my breath every week when it switches to the next one, but there should be another one. And I just would love to win that. And I appreciate everyone that has voted for me. So far, we started this, like, I think 3 weeks ago, and it's been great. I love the dashboard. I love that even my own clients are voting for me because basically they're putting into the fund because I think some of them are actually paying for the votes as well. But I really appreciate it. I feel loved. I feel happy about that. But please make sure you vote and keep voting until I tell you to stop voting. Because it's a daily vote. Every day you're supposed to go out and vote. You have 24 hours from the last time you voted. But that's it. But so at that end, thank you so much and please vote. Thank you in advance. And at the end of the day, let's just talk about let's go back to where we're talking about on the subject. At the end of the day, Sarah got her return files on time, saving herself headache, and even found deductions she hadn't thought of. That's why planning, even at the last minute, can make a huge difference. So if you're feeling tax season crunch, or take a deep breath and tackle it step by step. You don't have to do everything at once at all. Take it day by day. Like basically, you can set it up. Okay, in the next week, I'm going to have my paperwork ready for Faith Accounting Consulting Services to go in and do my taxes. So day one, we're going to start with collecting receipts. Then day two, just just take little bites at it. And that's what I say with almost everything we do with my clients is that take bites. You don't have to do everything at once. Like it's overwhelming. Like if you go to Disneyland, you can't do all in Disney World. You can't do all the rides at one time. Sometimes you can't even do it one day. You do it little by little. So do the same thing when it comes to the tax planning, tax preparation, and everything like that. And you guys always know, if you have been here before, I always say tax season is January through December. It's not January through April, that's filing season. So during this time, you're going to be preparing for 2025 throughout this whole year. 2024, if you didn't do it, you're just catching up and getting all the information. But start, like I said, your homework would be getting those receipts and taking some notes about some deductions that you possibly can be taking starting now. Like January receipts are due. So go look for all your January receipts. Go through your bank statement and check to see whatever ones are going to need receipts. Get those receipts. Go through your emails and get any confirmation bills or whatever that came in. Get those information and put it somewhere. Digitize it. That's what you need to make sure you're doing. Because I know when I worked in the school district, we always had like a 3-paper matching system where we had a purchase order, we had the purchase order, then we had the invoice, and then we also had the proof of payment. So you want to probably do the same thing for you, okay? But thank you all for coming. I'm going to end this out because I have one 15-year-old that's a gym rat now that wants me to take him to the gym. So I'm signing off. Enjoy. I know the kids in New York are off, so lock them credit cards, parents, because them kids are always hungry. So have a good one, and bye-bye. Bye, everyone. Hi, Donna. How are you? I miss you.